This is the Eye for an Eye channel. Welcome to today's show. Maybe people are starting to catch on because I've been talking about how both the Democrats and the Republicans, everybody in power is controlled and placed there. That's why we always see all these Republicans showing up at the World Economic Forum as well, but the alt-right media, which is controlled, never covers it because the left and the right, again, are working to sabotage the United States of America. They're working to bring it to its knees, and that's exactly what's happening. And this latest story about dress code in Congress fits in perfectly with the narrative. That's what this is about. It's a laughingstock, it's an embarrassment, and it's to make you believe that when this stuff collapses and this stuff hits the fan, that it's all our fault because we elected these buffoons who are playing the role of buffoons. This is all psychological. Everything they do is psychological. This is how they create what we all would call the Matrix. It's all psychological. It's the perception that they're creating through the television set to convince you that this is what's going on. So we have people who think that they're awake, that are MAGA, that are Republican, that consider what's going on. They see the buffoonery of the left, and they don't understand that both sides are working together to herd the masses. Herd the left in one direction, herd the right in another direction, done by design. I'm going to show you this ridiculous story, and I'm going to tell you my take on dress codes in 1 second. I want to let people know my other channel, Uprising Revival. A lot of good content is going up over there, some of my most important videos. On both channels, this one and that one, I'm going to be keeping videos up for 7 days and then removing them to keep these channels going so that the algo doesn't come in and read them and take them down or read them and flag the channel. So a lot of good content is going up over there that you don't want to miss, whether it's videos that recently were taken down, whether it's mixing in new videos, or whether it's some of the best videos that I've done. I have a video going up, or that is up today, on CERN that people need to see because I am getting a lot of messages, which is why I do this still, of people who are new to all this. I'm new. I just came over. I'm new. I found your channel. I was somebody who listened to Russell Brand. I found your channel. Okay, good. That's why I stay here. That's the point. Because when you're in the YouTube Partner Program, it's not just about having monetization, which is really irrelevant at this point. Making $50 a day is really not doing all that much, but it does help give me time to create content. But what it does is it keeps you in the algorithm so your channel gets recommended to new people. Thus, we wake up more people, which is my goal. So sub to my other channel now if you haven't. There's a lot of content that a lot of people have never seen. There's a lot of content you probably forgot about going up over there. Again, that is linked below. And also the website, uprisingrevival.com, is where everybody should be and needs to be. It's $2.99 a month, okay? The $2.99 is to keep the website up and running, to keep trolls out of the website, and so that I can have an unlimited amount of storage on there to upload every single video that I've ever done, which is over 3,000 videos at this point. Okay, I probably do about 2 a day. I do over 100 a month for the most part. So every time a channel goes, and I mean, I've gone through the history. I mean, there's people who are looking for me for when I was a Time for Judgment, a call for, all this stuff, which this video will be down in a week, so it doesn't really matter if I'm saying that out loud, even though I'm a new YouTuber, but you all get the point. So the website has unlimited content, width or room, space for me to upload. The forum itself, again, I've said it a million times, it is worth it. I'm not just beating it into people's head. It is worth it. The stuff people are sharing is excellent. There's a lot of really good people, really good researchers over there who don't want to have YouTube channels, who don't want to have well, why would anybody want to have one with the stuff that goes on over here? But a lot of people just research and don't, keep to themselves, but they're able to share stuff over there. And they're sharing stuff going on in their towns and everywhere else that they're seeing things that I expose. So it's really great for that standpoint. It's great for the uncensored content as well. Stay updated on what's going on with the 1-9er and the outbreak in India, directly connected, of course, to the Gates Foundation, because it all is, right? How convenient. So that's the newest video that's up over there. And again, my videos will be taken down after 7 days, but make sure you sub at least to the Uprising Revival YouTube channel as well. So sorry for that rant, but let me get into this here with Fetterman and Congress and the dress code, okay? They are removing the dress code. If this doesn't make people look at Congress as more of a joke, then I don't know what will. So we're pretty much getting to a point where we're going to have guys who look like hobos who are supposed to represent us in Congress. Now, if you want to ask the questions, be like, well, I don't really agree with dress codes. Well, a lot of us don't. Some of you might remember I did a video about 5 years ago, and I talked about who's more frightening. And it was a picture of men in business suits and Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Freddy Krueger. And the answer was the men in business suits, because they're the ones really performing the rituals. Now, the suit is just representative. In our society, it's a stereotype, right? Someone in a suit, you think they're successful, they're a businessman. It's a mirage. But at the same time, what they're trying to do psychologically with this, I understand a lot of people see this and like, well, this is ridiculous. I believe the people in Congress should be wearing a suit. It doesn't matter one way or the other. What they're trying to do psychologically is what matters. So what they're telling you is that they're making Congress into even bigger joke than it is by having guys show up in workout clothes. I mean, John Fetterman, let's start with John Fetterman. This is John Fetterman, again, who is obviously there, infatuated with the fact that they were able to place him in power and still be able to keep him there and convince the American people that he was actually voted in. There is 0% chance he was voted in. You could talk to anybody in Pennsylvania. It is not as liberal of a state as they make it out to be. It's not like California. Nobody voted for this guy. Now, of course, they ran Oz against him because it made it a little bit more believable that they were going to place Fetterman in there. And they placed Fetterman in there for exactly the narrative I've been talking about. The incompetency, the destruction, the buffoonery of America. This is Fetterman yesterday. He can't even complete a sentence while he's wearing his hoodie and his dress, his attire, which they call Fetterman's trademark. We actually have trademarks for these people dressing up and, rolling out of bed and going and representing us in Congress. It makes it more believable that these people are fools and that our country, when it gets destroyed, is going to be destroyed because we elected these fools, again, who we didn't elect. But here's Fetterman this week. Listen to him not even be able to form a sentence.
My message to the CEOs is, at $74 million, collectively earning that, how many yachts can they need, to water ski behind it? It's just crazy.
Okay, and this is the common theme we see, right? Because he can't complete a sentence or form a sentence. Biden can't complete or form a sentence. Every day we see Biden not being able to speak.
Simply put, the 21st century results are badly needed. We need as we evolve our institutions and drive creative new partnerships. Now, we need as we work together with China on issues where progress hinges on our common efforts. Nowhere is that more critical than accelerating the climate crisis, than the accelerating climate crisis. For one day, my administration, the United States, has treated this crisis as an existential threat from the moment we took office.
You're going to pay somewhere between 20 and 40% less than those other countries. Same exact drug, made by the same exact company.
This is all done by design. As I've said, you have to understand the psychological aspect. How does it make you feel when you see these things? How does it make anyone feel? How should it? How would it? Now, Republicans are getting driven crazy because they see this stuff and they believe that it's real when it's not. And then they see Democrats defending this, saying, oh, just because he can't complete a sentence doesn't mean that he can't be an elected official, because they're already just completely gone and done. Their minds are warped. They're just complete, morons, really. Okay? But conservatives could fall into the same boat, because if you're believing this stuff and you're believing that this guy was actually elected, because they look at it and they go, look at the Democrats. They elected this guy. They elected him. No, they didn't. Nobody's electing these people. Nobody is electing them. They're telling you that Congress is shut down. And that's really part of what the dress code's about, too, that we literally don't even have a functioning government right now. We haven't for quite some time, but now more so than ever, they're telling you and showing you that we have people rolling out of bed, showing up at Congress, supposedly representing us. All these people are millionaires, and they're making it more and more believable that this country is completely getting flushed down the toilet because, again, it's sabotage. Here is the story about the dress code.
So good news for hoodie and gym shorts loving John Fetterman. The U.S. Senate will no longer be subject to a dress code.
But why would you bend the rules for one senator? Why? What sense does that? Do you have any sense of tradition?
This is someone just not taking it seriously, and I'm sort of sick and tired of him.
This guy looks like he's in a gang or he's working out somewhere. I think the whole thing is horrible. I think it's part of the deterioration of this country.
The last thing before we go tonight, the Senate's new clothes. That was just a taste of the backlash we've seen since Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer loosened the chamber's informal dress code for its members. In a statement yesterday, Schumer said this, quote, "Senators are able to choose what they wear on the Senate floor. I will continue to wear a suit." Well, now Senator Rick Scott, along with 45 Republican Senate colleagues, have sent a letter to Schumer demanding he reverse the new rule. saying this, quote, allowing casual clothing on the Senate floor disrespects the institution we serve and the American families we represent. Republican Senator Susan Collins even joked yesterday, I plan to wear a bikini. There have been no bikini sightings as of yet, but some members were spotted taking advantage of the more relaxed dress code. Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri walked onto the floor in jeans and cowboy boots to vote. And Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski lingered for a bit longer on the floor in her travel attire, which included a quarter zip and sneakers. Many have noted that Senator Kyrsten Sinema has been bending the dress code for years with her eye-catching prints, her various wigs, and a denim vest she likes to wear.
So then on top of that, with the dress code, it's like child's play, right? And this is done by design because people are looking at it and they're going, who are these people that are representing us in Congress? They're so stupid. They're such buffoons, right? And it sets it up perfectly to take it all down and make it believable. Because again, if people realize that the people in Congress were working together, if liberals realized that the left in Congress were friends with the right, best friends, and doing this to sabotage, it would snap them out of the trance. Same with the people on the right. It would snap them completely out of it if they said, oh my gosh, these people who are supposed to be working for us are destroying the government, they're going to enslave us, etc. So what they're doing is they're making it look like all of this stuff is happening because we elected really stupid people and oops, there we go. The next thing we know, we're an enslaved country, but it's our fault. It's everybody's fault. It's the left and right's fault. It's not the secret society's fault. So we're doing this. So then you have these people playing like children. Right? These are the actual stories that constantly come out about Congress. Nothing gets resolved, right? We hear about Hunter Biden's laptop. We go in a circle, impeachment, all this kind of crap, right? Then we get stories about Lauren Boebert getting felt up in movie theaters, even though she talks about being how disgusting the LGBT is, she says, and things like that. She makes that, all these claims about being Christian and then goes out and shows that hypocritical behavior, right? Then you get these people playing like children about the dress code. Right? You have Republicans saying they're going to wear bikinis. This is headline news. Oh, I'm going to wear a bikini to the Senate this week. I'm going to wear that. I mean, does nobody see what's going on here? What they're seeing is this, and they're going, oh my gosh, these people are children. Right. But you get that that's what they're doing by design. That's what you need to understand. They're looking at it and they're just going, oh man, these stupid people, they're going to get us all killed. They're going to get us, they're going to sink. America's going to sink if we don't change. And it's on us to vote them out. How often do you all hear that? Go to a comment section under a video on Biden. This is on the Democrat. We have to vote them out. 2024, we have to. Okay, what if you find out that your vote don't count? Because you soon enough you're going to, I would hope, realize that. These people think they're like, our vote's going to. If you realize that your vote isn't going to get them out, that these people are playing roles, that these people are acting in Congress. Think about how many movies out there have been about just some guy getting elected who has no business being elected, right? There's like movies like Swing Vote, et cetera, or movies that play off of the fact that some dumbed down white trash hillbilly American is going to, go into Congress and go into Congress wearing a Hawaiian t-shirt, et cetera, right? We've seen predictive programming revolving around this exact story. Well, the programming has been in place. Fetterman had to be put in to make this more believable. Who would really care about a senator from any state? We have a guy in there who can't complete sentences, a guy in there who a lot of people, think isn't even the real guy anymore. I don't know if that's true or not, but you have a guy in there who is changing the dress code because they're trying to say, look, just because he's Democrat, we're going to make the dress code more lenient. We're going to do this because it's rules for me, rules for thee, not for me. That narrative that we constantly see. Okay? This whole mindset is on making this all believable for the demise of this country. Because this is what people need to get in their head. If everybody realized, if we all found out, and the news story out there was, showing a secret meeting between Biden and Trump and, DeSantis and Gavin Newsom, all talking, hugging, drinking together, not doing the actual things that they do together, right, with kids and stuff. We won't show that, of course. But just say that aired on TV. What do you think would happen to people's minds if they saw they were all friends? Then suddenly they go, these people are playing us all. These people are friends. They act on TV like they hate one another, and they're doing this behind closed doors. They're like lawyers. They can't be trusted. They're all politicians. They're scum, right? Everybody would realize this. So by keeping these big characters like Newsom and Fetterman out there in the public eye, changing laws to appease the Democrats, right? Changing things to make, the Democrats get this, they get that. They're telling us to wear masks when they don't have to wear masks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All psychologically done by design. So psychologically, imagine if everybody saw these people with a hidden camera all meeting together, just say at the Bohemian Grove, hypothetically, which people never talk about anymore. Let's say they're all up there. They're all in their underwear. They're all running around, painted up, doing all sorts of disgusting acts together. Say we're video of it all. And you saw the most extreme guy like Ted Cruz, let's say, for example, hanging out with Gavin Newsom and hugging and even kissing, I'm sure, because that's probably what is happening with them at Bohemian Grove. Well, we all know that is, right? Then the spell would be broken on the people, because then the people, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, would start being human beings again. And they would say, why am I worshiping these false idols? Why am I putting all my faith in Trump? Why are we putting all our faith in these Democratic leaders? Why aren't we just being human beings and not letting people dictate our lives, letting people manipulate our lives, letting people do this psychologically to us and our families, etc., with all the stuff that they push and pump that cause people to have mental health problems? They would stop it from happening because they'd realize it wasn't real. And they never want you to realize it's not real. That's why I constantly harp on the fact, no pun intended with the word harp, that the alt-right media is fully protected. Ben Shapiro's, right? Russell Brand's playing his role now to build up more credibility in his eyes. That's what it'll do. It'll make him more credible, having the media and everybody out there attack him. This is done by design. They want you stuck in the alt-right. The alt-right does not deal with censorship. They don't go through thousands of channels. This is the big thing, okay, that they don't want you to know, is that the whole thing is them working together. They are all in secret societies together, working together. So they have to create the illusion of a destruction of this country that would look like it was destroyed from the people who vote for these political people, these political leaders who are not voted for. They're there by design. You have the extreme people like the Cruzes and the Trumps on the one side, and then you have the complete lunatics on the other side, like Fetterman, like Newsom, right? And they want you to think that so they want the Republicans to look at the Democrats, like, you voted for these insane psychopaths. And the other side, they go, you voted for these extremists, these MAGAs, these terrorists, et cetera, et cetera. When all these guys are buddies, they're best buddies, okay? So how do you create the illusion of each side, of this actually happening for real instead of by design? You just do stuff like this. Look at this now. They go, this is the narrative. Look at this, the dress code. How embarrassing for America. Look at us in America. I mean, because, the media, they're the ones who decided that wearing a suit means that you're successful and fine. This is I always said the business suit is like a cloak, right? It's like a druid cloak. It said they wear it out in the open, and then everyone's like, oh, that person would never do that with a kid or do that. The guy in the tank top would, who hasn't shaved his beard, who has a mullet, because he looks more suspicious. Right? They created a perception to keep themselves out of the public eye based on how they look and things like that. So when you talk about the suit, obviously I'm not on board with it in general. I mean, who doesn't hate wearing a suit? It's not comfortable to wear a suit. Anyone who says it does is just brainwashed, because it couldn't be more uncomfortable. But now think about the illusions of this, that they continue to put these mini seeds in, acting like children. Lauren Boebert, Fetterman, changing the dress code, constantly talking about all these things, pointing fingers at one another. Everybody's rolling their eyes at everything going on. And then boom, it all collapses. Nobody's going to think for 1 second that they did it by design together. They're just going to think that it was the other political party for voting the incompetent people in. And we'll continue to fight amongst ourselves while these people in charge get exactly what they want, which is a one world government. And you can only have it by destroying all of the governments around the earth. All of them have to be crumbled. That means the Senate. That means the House. That means the whole judicial system. All of it, the FBI, the CIA, all of it has to crumble. You don't think the stuff out there about how corrupt the FBI and the CIA are isn't by design? Of course it is. It's like the OSS. They renamed it to the CIA. They're just going to rename these things to new names. They don't care. It's about the psychological aspect of it. So they're psychologically doing this by design. They're doing this by design psychologically. Oh, look, they're pampering to John Fetterman and they're changing the dress code for him. Now Republicans are going to wear all sorts of ridiculous costumes into the Senate just to mock him and then go back and forth like children, like child's play. Then you create some type of huge false flag event and you say Russia attacked or China attacked. And even though it'll be our own government doing it with them, you create one, people will believe it. Because they'll say, look, and all this stupid stuff and these people we elected are doing this in Congress, now we're screwed over. But if you knew that they were doing it, that they sold us out to the global government, to NATO, to the UN, and they knew that the first thing they'd do is bring America down, because America's the most armed, America's the strong power in this world, on this earth, they had to bring America down. And this is the only way you do it, by sabotage. And again, that's the key word, sabotage, left and right. I don't understand I get why a lot of people don't like me and don't like my channel, but I don't understand how people who are Democrat don't see this. You don't have to like what I'm saying. How they don't see it. How both sides don't see it. You think that this is real? You think in the 1990s on C-SPAN? Go YouTube old Congress stuff on C-SPAN and listen to the stuff they're talking about. They're reading off sheets of paper. It couldn't be more boring. If you had insomnia, you put on C-SPAN to fall asleep. There's nothing of interest in it. You don't even know what they're talking about. And it's all just, it's not things that would affect your day-to-day life. They're just talking about little things here and there, infrastructure. Now it's a circus. Everybody's tuning in. These people are getting put on the late night with Conan O'Brien or whatever the shows are. And Jay Leno. No, what are the shows now? Oh, right. Kimmel, Fallon. Instead of having actors on, they're having politicians on, as if anybody actually wants to hear and see them. But people are interested in this stuff because it's a show. Because they're going out there, they're yelling, they're creating promos like they're pro wrestlers. They're pointing fingers at one another, they're bullying each other back and forth. Everybody's jumping up and applauding in a charade. You got the guy in the Democratic Party who's the biggest laughingstock. I'm pretty sure he's not even human. The guy who I think is the leader in the House for them, who goes up there and raps. He talks like he's rapping. I mean, it's pathetically embarrassing, right? But it's done by design so that you believe it. So that you believe it. Because again, if people realized what they were doing, if people saw and knew, then there would be a revolution here. Because they'd say, it's the small group of people. And we all found out that they all were in secret societies together, and their whole goal was to control all of us. And they don't care about gay rights. They don't care about women's body. They don't care about any of that stuff that they told us to care about. They would be gone and done for. And this would be over very quickly. But if you stay trapped in the left-right, then you will remain trapped. Because none of these false idols are there to save us from this. Only Christ is going to save us from it. These false idols, whatever their plan is with Trump, etc., are going to herd you where they planned all along to herd you. That's what people need to know. So the dress code, ladies and gentlemen, just another way to make you believe that this country is falling apart by, of course, just the people that we elect, but really it's just by design to make it believable. Because if something hits, everyone's going to believe it and go, look what we allowed to happen. Oh, boy, we elected them. Nope. They're sabotaging and destroying us, and the clock is ticking. So people better snap out of it and wake up. Again, please check out Uprising Revival, the website. I very much recommend you join. If you can't join, if $2.99 a month is too much, that's fine. Who am I to say? I don't know what anyone... I mean, it's not like it's $20 a month. It's the price of a bottle of water. It's half the price of a gallon of gas. Half a gallon of gas for a whole month's worth of content. But you can go over there, click on free videos, okay, and submit your email. That way I'll have your email. We can stay in touch with each other. You can find out, at the very least, where I am uploading on YouTube, because there will be a day, it happens every month almost, you'll wake up, my channel will be gone, you forgot about my other channel. What was it called again? I don't remember, and who does, right? I've had 75,000 names at this point. I don't expect you to remember. So make sure you sub the other channel, click free videos on the website, at least submit your email. That way you can get email notifications on what I'm uploading, where, and of course, just anything. If I send out a mass email, if stuff goes down, we can all be in touch. I can tell you what I think everyone should do, or you could tell me, in a sense, on the website, what's going on, where you are. So this is all stuff we need to do to network with each other. That's one of the reasons they want to shut everyone down. It's not just because of the influence as far as breaking the spell that's on everyone that the mainstream media has cast over them. It's also about us being able to communicate and network with each other. They want us divided, and not just divided, separated from one another. Divided through the left-right, separated through all means of social media where we can't communicate. That's why they go after just a common person's post on Facebook. And I'm a common person too, but it's different with YouTube, right? They're like, this guy's speaking to 10,000 people. Well, they go after everybody because they don't want you networking with anybody. They don't want like-minded people being able to figure out what's going on and then uprising against it. No pun intended. I thank you again for being here. Hope you're doing well. God bless all of you always and your families.